Death by webinar. You know what I'm talking about. You've sat in professional development sessions where the talking head on the screen is going. You're like, I was really excited to join this, but now I'm like, oh, I'm zoning out. The webinar was like, it's got some great content, but it's not engaging enough for me to keep going. So I'm over here checking my email, or I'm over here checking what's on the shopping channel, or the shopping website that I'm on right now. You know what I'm talking about. We call this death by webinar. And in this video, we're going to talk about two ways to create your webinars or engage in these webinars or video sessions or professional development sessions so that you are engaged, you are not tuning out, and you're not diddle-dallying somewhere else. Let's go. Hey there, Math Moment Makers. John here from Make Math Moments. And in this video, we are talking about two particular ways to avoid the death by webinar feeling, and also to create sessions that can avoid that death by webinar. These are actually two techniques we've employed in our upcoming 2022 Make Math Moments virtual summit. We are hosting a 3-day or a 2-day plus one night, one evening virtual summit, completely free math virtual summit sessions that you can dive into. And I know that when we say, hey, we've got online professional development for you, you're like cringing a little bit because we've spent so much time engaging in online professional development that has not been so optimal for our time, optimal for our engagement. And what we want to do here in our virtual summit, which we did last year, is provide you engaging sessions that you're not diddle-dallying or checking email. You have no opportunity to do that. And we've got some engaging speakers. That's one way that we are bringing that to you. However, there are two techniques we're going to employ that you can employ at any conference that you go to or any professional development sessions that you go to. But also, if you're creating some professional development sessions, you might want to think about using these techniques. The first technique, what we call the conference companion. This is something that we created for conference goers, live conference goers, that's now transformed into online conferences or online professional development sessions where you can keep engaged, keep plugging along, optimize your conference experience by using the conference companion. So on our conference companion, this is where we've put into some places some things to remind yourselves about what to do, some things to look for, some things to kind of like keep track of notes. So one way that we know that to keep engagement is to continually actively make notes or actively think about what you're pulling from this session. What is it that I hope to achieve, or what is the big idea here that I can use from this particular session? So we can use our digital conference companion guide right here to kind of like go over some of those things. So we've got some space for any kind of jotting down of new learning. You can use this on your tablet or print one of these out every time you go to a session. So if you're heading to our 2022 Make Math Moments virtual conference or virtual summit this November 18th, 19th, and 20th, you can print one of these out or use it online when you're ready to engage in one of our free sessions. So have it ready to go. You're putting the 2022 conference title right up here. And then, we've got our hashtag. We're going to put our hashtag in there, which is MMM Summit 2022. And then we're going to jot down no learning. Maybe we're doing a sketch note here. Maybe we're drawing some pictures. We're making a nice mind map of some of the ideas you're learning from that particular session. Like we're doing a kickoff session with Peter Littledale, Kyle, and I. We're doing building thinking classrooms to make math moments. So we are going to talk about all of these amazing techniques that Peter's been writing about in his book, How to Build Thinking Classrooms, and how do we do that to make math moments in our classrooms? So we'll be talking about that. You can be writing these ideas down. We've got that space at the bottom, like what is this one thing that's most important about this session to me right now? That's so important to think about what you're pulling from a session. It helps you frame out the new learning that you're getting. So that's an engagement piece itself. We've got this session about new connections. And that can help you make connections when you're on the chat. or when you're meeting people face to face, because lots of people will take this to a live conference, a face-to-face conference as well. So that's one, is the conference companion. Thinking about how do I engage with the one new piece of learning that I'm getting from this conference, this session today for me right now. The second piece to engage yourself into online conferences or face-to-face conferences, or if you're creating conferences or creating online professional development, is to have a scavenger hunt. That's right, it's a scavenger hunt. And I know that we're like, hey, isn't that for like little kids? No, it is not for little kids. This is for us to engage ourselves. So we've got two different scavenger hunts we run when we run professional development sessions like ours coming up in November. One is one that you can run, you can use anywhere at any conference whatsoever. Live conference, face-to-face conference, online sessions. You'll notice on our conference companion guide right here on the screen, you're noticing, maybe you did notice, maybe these little check boxes around the edge, the perimeter of the page that you're going to print out. And those check boxes have little things to look for, little things to check off. That did you do this to maximize your engagement and maximize your conference experience? So I'll read a couple. Like, for example, you're going to check this little box down here in the corner if you've got a new resource, right? It's like, hey, I'm looking for a new resource from this session. I'm going to check that box if I got it. You're going to pick a session based on the presenter. Did you do that? Sometimes it's if you recognize a name, you're like, oh yeah, I wanted to go and learn from this person. I read a book on that person, or I saw that person at another conference. I'm going to choose that session based off the name that I'm seeing here because I wanted to learn more. And that will help you focus, help you stay engaged. Get to a session early or sneak into a session. You know, maybe if you're at a live session, you can sneak into a session and go, hey, you know what, I didn't sign up for this, but I'm going to sneak in. Now, you could take a selfie during a presentation, you know, hit up the social event if there is one at a live conference, or sometimes our online conferences have social events built in as well. Meet someone new, visit the publisher's area. I'll just read one more here. Keep your video on if you're on a video session or an online professional development session. Keep that video on and look engaged and feel engaged, because if you keep your video on, you know you're going to be a little bit more engaged than if you have that video off. I know that if you taught online, which I think you did, you knew that those students who kept their video off weren't probably as engaged as some of them who kept their video on. You know what I'm talking about. So that is one of the ways that you can engage in online learning and online conferences or online sessions by using the scavenger hunt. Now, the second piece for our particular scavenger hunt, we've kind of souped up. We've made a super version of this scavenger hunt, and we've put an extra layer on top of this, and we call this the 2022 Virtual Summit Hunt. And there's a prize attached to this virtual summit hunt. And what we've done is we've sent each of our speakers. We've got 30 speakers, and we've sent each of the speakers an icon like you're seeing up on the screen right here. And each of our speakers is going to embed this icon somewhere in their slide decks while they're presenting. And if you can match as many as you can to the names, right? So right now, if I'm on a session right now and I saw, maybe I was in Peter Littledahl's session on the Friday night, and I saw on his slides this green retro camper, then I'm going to write Peter's name down on this page right here to say Peter Littledahl, green camper. I have matched Peter to this. And then if I'm in another session and I'm in, let's say Marilyn Strutchen's session, also on Friday night, and I saw this symbol somewhere in her slide deck while I was watching, I'm going to write her name there. The more you match, the more chance you have to win. We'll take the highest number of matches for a chance to win a free year in the Make Math Moments Academy's premium online account. So we'll send you details on that if you are the highest matching, right? We got 30 speakers. If you match all 30, that'd be amazing. That means you watched all sessions, which I think is pretty tough over the course of a weekend. But you can also extend your time to continue watching. So we'll take those in the first week, and you can win. You could win a year in the Make Math Moments Academy by just matching names to symbols. So every speaker will have a symbol, and you just got to match the most. And you're going to lean in. You're going to lean into looking at those. Yeah, and it's going to force you to lean in to listen to what the speakers are saying. You're not going to want to dilly dally over here with your online shopping. You're going to want to engage a little bit more. We've got a little game, a little incentive for you to do that. So 2 ways here that you have are going to engage more deeply and optimize your online conference experience. One is going to use the conference companion by taking notes, thinking about the biggest idea. Second is using a scavenger hunt. We've got 2 versions of the scavenger hunt, one on the outside of the conference companion, and 2 right here, the summit hunt with our sessions and our speakers. So how are you going to optimize your conference experience? You're going to use this right here. Go ahead, download it right around here on this video somewhere, or by registering for the summit, you can get access to this document right here, and we'll send it to you in an email. So hoping to see you in the summit, and also hoping to see you at a live conference somewhere soon. Take care.